Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another live stream. So, this live stream is to choose the winner of the essay correction competition. So, we'll choose the winner and take a look at their essay, go through the full essay, look at the vocab and grammar mistakes, look at any content, any structure mistakes, and I will give some good, clear feedback to that person on what they need to do to improve their scores. And I will also include the individual band scores. So when you do the IELTS test, you just get the overall writing score for task 1 and task 2. But there are 4 individual band scores for task 1 and 4 individual band scores for task 2. And having that information is very useful because you know where to focus your time and your energy. So that's what we're going to do. Choose a winner for the question I posted last week and give them a full essay correction. If you are new to Complete Test Success, you may not be familiar with my Complete Task 2 guide. So I'm just going to share that with you in the comments, and that will just show you how to respond to Task 2 questions, how to approach it, how it's scored, all of those things. So if you haven't already completed those, that would be a very good use of your time, and it's only 3 hours in total. So not a massive investment of time, but a very good investment of time. You'll learn a lot if you haven't completed them already, of course. Hi, Sharon Preet. Good to see you here. Good morning to you. Hi, Ted. Who else have we here? Madeline, hello to you. And Gujar. Hiya, good morning. Hi, Salvi. Salvi already got her scores. She's just back for fun. Good to see you here anyway, Salvi. Okay. So that is the purpose of the lesson. We'll choose a winner and then look at their essay. So let me just share with you here. So this is just a little bit of software I have where it chooses the winner at random. And if you entered, you will see your name there. So not many entrants this week. All right, so let's find the winner. Jayati. Okay, congratulations, Jayati. Now I need a moment to find that essay and then we'll get started. Okay, so Jayati posted in 2 different comments, so I'll just need a moment to get this all sorted. Okay, so I have that all ready to go now. If you have joined me live, obviously I'll be giving feedback on Jayati's answer. But if you've joined me live or if you're watching the recording, feel free to ask questions, be it on my feedback, on the content of the answer, anything you're confused about, any questions you have. So definitely get involved. And we'll go through the essay together. Hi, Lucky. Good to see you here again. All right, so let's jump into this essay. And okay, here we go. So this was the question. Nowadays, many young people enjoy copying the behavior of their favorite celebrities. So what I want is a paraphrase of this. So the first thing I want in the introduction is this rewritten in Jayati's own words. So we don't want to copy the exact words, but we want to have the exact meaning. So in the epoch of technology and advancement, people are running towards modernism. Okay, so the question had nothing to do with that. That's nothing to do with the question. So that doesn't belong in the essay. Also, some serious grammar mistakes here. In the epoch of technology, advancement, people, that doesn't mean anything, are running towards modernism. I mean, why are we saying that this is so serious vocab problems, but also it's got nothing to do with the question. Okay, so hopefully Giotti will actually paraphrase this. But what I do see is that Giotti and these lessons that I already shared here, I'm very confident that Giotti has not completed these lessons, because this type of mistake is just a basic misunderstanding of how to write a task 2 essay. And it's easily resolved. You just learn how to do it and then you follow that advice. So Giotti, I can tell straight away you will need to complete these lessons, and they will definitely guide you closer towards what you need to produce in your answer. Okay, so next. It is observed by most of the people that they love to copy the celebrity and follow their footsteps. Okay, so now we have, at least there's an attempt to paraphrase this question. Nowadays, so the question said young people, but the paraphrase said people. So that's a different meaning. That's not the same thing. It's not saying all people, and it didn't say most, it said many. So if you say most is nearly all, but if you say many, it's just a lot, a big group of people. So we're not saying, like, if you're saying most, we know it's more than 50%, but if we're saying many, there's no indication of how big it is. So those have different meanings as well. They love to copy the celebrity. They love to copy celebrities. So we need to delete that, delete the, and change celebrity to plural and follow in their footsteps. Okay. So the main mistakes here are most and many don't have the same meaning. People and young people don't have the same meaning. The rest of it is relatively okay. And Giotti, just be careful, you don't put a space on the right side, on the left side of a full stop. So that should be like that. Okay, next thing then. This is one paragraph, so that should not be on a new line. That should all be together. What I want now is, what are the reasons for this? So I need the reasons, and it says reasons in plural, so I need more than one reason. So I'm expecting to have 2 reasons here. As per my belief, it is a negative development since we all are unique in our own ways. Since we are all unique in our own ways. This is too vague. If we're all unique in our own ways, then why can we not copy the behavior of celebrities? I mean, if I'm unique, then surely I should be allowed to copy a celebrity. Like, why do I have to do what other people are doing? So that's not clear. That's too vague at the moment. Also, what I wanted was the reason first. So I expected to have the reason as the first part of the outline statement. So it seems like Giotti has, you want to just follow the order of what you've been asked. So it makes most sense to include the reason first and then your answer next. Sorry, the reasons, plural, the reasons first. Okay, so it's a negative development since we are all unique. So that's not clear. And rather than copying some stars, we must harness our potential. Okay, so again, a mistake with the full stop here. Nobody's been asked, you haven't been asked what we should do. So this is irrelevant. We must harness our potential. So we weren't given, you weren't asked to suggest what you should do. You were asked what was the reason, or what were the reasons, excuse me. So 2 reasons, and whether you think it's positive or negative. So you've said that you think it is negative. So you've said this. You've given a main idea, but you haven't explained your main idea isn't relevant. At least it's not clear. I shall further explicate in detail with relevant examples and a well-defined conclusion. I don't like this. This does not indicate that you have written this. So this is something that you've obviously learned somewhere, and possibly you've been told that every time you write an introduction, you just write this sentence and it sounds good. I mean, technically it sounds good, but first of all, the grammar, the vocab is perfect, which is not representative of your writing. So it's very obvious that you didn't write this. It's very obvious that you learned this. And an examiner is not going to say, oh, that's great, they'll get a higher vocab score because this is perfect. They'll know that you learned it before the test, and you will get no credit. You'll get no credit for this. So the fact that the vocab and grammar is perfect has no representation in the score that you will get. This will be ignored completely. So it's much better to write an outline statement based on, your own ability to write. Learning phrases like this doesn't help. Okay, so I don't have any reasons and I don't have a main idea. So far, for task achievement, we're probably looking at a band 5 for task achievement. I need the reasons. I need the reasons, and I need the main idea why you think it's negative. And at the moment, that's not clear based on what you've written. Okay, so let's just jump back in here and see, does anybody have any comments or questions for me at the moment? Sharon Preet, in paraphrasing, after advancement, it would be comma. I'll have to look at that again. No, there's still, it just doesn't make sense. So it's a bigger issue. It's a bigger issue than that, in that the collocations don't make sense. So adding a comma wouldn't fix that. Hey Joyce. Hi Kamal. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi Mustafa. Kamal, while explaining the idea, I end up with no more development. So I mean, I can write about why, but not about how. Well, they'll be the same thing. They'll be the same thing, and that's why an example is a nice addition to a paragraph. So if you've already explained how or why one of those, it's just the explanation. Move to the example after that. So that's enough. What you're doing is enough, and then top it off with an example. Okay, so let's get back. Oh, excuse me, make sure to share it first. Okay, let's get back into this. So there are three, we require 3 ideas. I want to have 3 body paragraphs. So it looks like this is 1, 2, 3. So it looks like I have 3. The conclusion should start with in conclusion, so I'm not sure if that is in fact a conclusion. And let's just see the number of words we have here. 330, a little bit long. Not the end of the world, but a little bit long. And a shorter answer would allow you to have more time for proofreading, checking your vocab and grammar mistakes and that. Okay, so let's look at what we have next. The more the superstars are easily accessible on social media, so more punctuation mistakes. You can definitely work on your punctuation, Jyoti. The more the superstars are easily accessible on social media, the more the chances of people following them. Okay, so yeah, that's a reason. Okay, so we have a reason. That's good. So this is pushing your score up. The fact that we have a reason now, this is good. So now we just need to explain that. Remember, just the spaces in your punctuation. So in your punctuation, no space on the left, but you do need a space on the right. So be careful with that. Now, this image of the celebrities appears fascinating. So this is used incorrectly. So you would say this if we're referring to a specific image. I don't know what image you're talking about. So images of and the celebrities, I don't know. So again, there is specific. I don't know specifically which celebrities you're talking about. And I assume it's going to be celebrities in general. So images of celebrities, verb agreement. Oh yes, of course, it's not no apostrophe because the images of celebrities is the noun phrase. Okay, images of celebrities appear fascinating and charming to the masses. Okay. So it seems like this should be another, I think this should be part of the same paragraph. These adverts, what adverts? So you're using possessive pronouns like this and these to refer to something that I don't know what you're referring to. So you're using those incorrectly as well. So those are things to work on. Make an iconic image of the celebrities and instigate other people to replicate them. Okay, so you've attempted to explain that. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna make another paragraph out of this one. Moreover, youngsters who are not mature enough get flooded in the utopia of fashion world. They get flooded. I don't know what that means, to get flooded in the utopia of the fashion world. That doesn't mean anything. To epitomize, in a survey conducted by an online agency, it was revealed that 87% of teens started smoking. So don't use symbols like this. Use the real words. You know, it's testing your English, so you don't want to take shortcuts to actually show. Okay, 87% of teens started smoking or drinking by taking inspiration from the stars who advertised such products. This is very honestly very confusing. The whole thing. By an online agency. Such products. Okay, so this is an example of teenagers copying what they see. Well, why am I? What's this proving? What are you supporting with this? So is this supposed to be social? Is this supposed to be about social media? Are you? So if you want to support the idea that easy access on social media, if I don't know if this is, it seems like a different idea, and it really looks like you didn't plan this essay. So just looking at this, it seems like you read the question and you just started writing, and anything you could think of related to the topic, you just wrote it. But you're not going to get a good score by doing that. So again, those lessons that I showed you, you definitely need to complete those. And before you write, you need to organize your answer. So if you want to talk about the reason being social media, then you explain that. And then the example you give has to be of how social media and about social media and the following that celebrities have on social media of young people. But then is it an example about people copying them? So what you have is an example of people copying celebrities, but it's not about social media, which is what your main idea was. So it does seem unrelated, or it is unrelated. So I'm not sure that example is related to the topic. It's not related to your main idea. It doesn't help to develop your main idea. Okay. The mocking of well-known people can be useful in some aspects. Mocking. Mocking is it's not the same as imitating. To mock someone is to make fun of them. So that's the wrong word there. And Jayati, the impression I'm getting as well is like your vocabulary level is much lower than the vocabulary you're using. And I've seen this a lot. I know why you're doing it. Is you think you need to use these like these less common vocabulary items, these less common words to improve your vocab score. But it's not. You need to communicate clearly. So you're using a lot of words that you don't know how to use because you think they sound good because you think they'll get you a higher score. But that's not working. In fact, it's bringing down your score because I don't know what you're saying in a lot of instances. So just focus on communicating as clearly as possible. Don't start using random words that sound good to you, and you do likely need to improve your overall level of vocabulary as well. And again, in those lessons I shared at the beginning of this live stream, you will see exactly how you can do that. Dal Itsu, hello, welcome to the lesson. Ashley, I don't know what that means. Hi, Jervin. Good to see you here. Hi, Rupinder. Good morning to you. Sharon Preet, sir, can we explain two reasons in one body paragraph when total would be two body paragraphs? It's not what I recommend. It's not. I mean, it's okay, but then you're going to have one really long body paragraph and one relatively short. Like, it just makes more sense. Like, for organization's sake, just have three that are roughly the same. It's the exact same information instead of one really long one and one about half the length. So it's a tidier way to organize. Okay, Jyoti, back to this. So that's not clear. That doesn't mean anything. Of well-known people can be useful in some aspect. That's again unclear. What aspect are you talking about? If you have an idea, you should say what your idea is, not allude to it. Okay. Imitating celebrity involved in some charity work and environment concerns is beneficial owing to the fact that it promotes helpful activity and thereby produces better results for both people and society. Not sure why you're saying this, but it sounds like you're saying why it's good, why it's positive. So it sounds like you're saying it's positive, but earlier on you told me that it's negative. You said here, as per my belief, it is a negative development. But now you're telling me why it's good. So that you're contradicting yourself. That's going to hurt your coherence and cohesion score for both people and society. However, I believe that this imitation is more negative than positive. Okay, so you're including a reason why it's positive. We don't need that. We don't need that at all. All I need is, so it's do you think? So it's not saying why is it positive, or for why might it be positive and why might it be negative. It's just saying you personally, exactly, like, what do you think? So if you've already said it's negative, you just need to support that. But the other issue here is that I needed two reasons, and so far you've just given one. So you're giving me information I don't need, and you're not giving me information I do need to give you a higher score. Okay. However, I believe that this imitation has more negatives than positives. This has negative repercussions like financial problems, wasting time and energy, mocking stars. Again, that's the wrong word. Will require the masses to have the same amount of wealth and luxury to which many of them can barely afford. It leads to financial trouble for many of them. Okay, so you've got a lot of ideas. It's not organized correctly, but you are at least trying to develop your answer. You're trying to develop your opinion. But what I don't want is a list of ideas. What I want is one idea, and then you develop that one idea. So earlier on, you said it's negative development since we all. Okay, so that wasn't clear. We all have our own unique ways, but again, it doesn't seem like you're talking about that down here. So you're talking about financial problems, wasting time, wasting energy. So you've those three, but you're not talking about the unique ways. So again, a lot of this is just you don't know how to structure an essay, and you can learn that with the lessons I've shared with you. But the other thing is that you're taking far too many risks with vocabulary. Far too many risks with vocabulary, and you're not communicating clearly, and you might end up using more common vocabulary. You might end up repeating words more often. But if I can actually understand clearly what you're saying, that will absolutely get you a better score. Okay. So this all conclusion should end with in conclusion. So start with in conclusion. Don't start with to exemplify. Or is this supposed to be an example? Oh, okay, sorry, this is supposed to be an example here, so you haven't written a conclusion. To exemplify, many people prefer to have luxury cars similar to these popular faces, these popular people, these famous people. Popular faces and famous people would not have the same meaning. Since they do not have ample amount of money, so they resort to cheap method like committing crimes. Which okay, so now there are people committing crimes. This is another idea again. Too many ideas. You're Yeah, like I said, you just don't know how to structure an answer. This isn't going to get you a good score, even though you're kind of on topic, kind of talking about what you've been asked to talk about. It's too unfocused. This isn't going to get you a good score. To gist, so this must be to conclude. Okay, so let me just change that. In conclusion, there are some reasons lead to copying renowned and popular stars. There can be some advantages for bourgeois and society and the country. I think the defective influences weigh on affirmative ones. Honestly, you're making it very difficult to understand, like defective influences. Why? What do you like? Just say disadvantages. I know like I can see from the small from between those mistakes, I can see that you can communicate more clearly if you try, but your main focus here is trying to improve your vocab score with words that you cannot use, and it's having the opposite effect. So I mean, there's a good chance that you're capable of getting a band 6 for vocab, but you're using all this vocab that you think will get you a band 7, but the result is you're getting a band 5. That's the truth. Okay, so let me go through what your scores are going to be here. Okay, so task achievement. You were supposed to give me 2 reasons, and you were supposed to give me your opinion, and then you're supposed to support your opinion with an idea. So you gave me the opinion, and you did support that with several ideas. You didn't develop any of them well, but you had a lot of main ideas that were suitable. So that's okay. You gave me 1 reason, the social media thing, so that was okay, but you didn't give me the 3rd reason. So that's a band 5 for task achievement. Coherence and cohesion, like band honestly band 4. I don't the ideas are completely unorganized. It's literally like if you recorded what you were thinking, that's what came out on the essay. You need to structure it. So it has to be 3 main ideas in the introduction. Next paragraph focuses on the first main idea, states it in the topic sentence, explains it, perhaps give an example. Next paragraph, that second main idea, same thing. The next paragraph, third main idea, same thing. And then the conclusion where you repeat all of those main ideas again. So it's too much back and forth, no logical progression, no obvious purpose for each paragraph, very unorganized. So it's going to be a band 4 for coherence and cohesion. For vocab, you're going to get a band 5. I mean, you've got range, but the level of accuracy is so low that I just don't understand what you're saying at times. Grammar, it's going to be a band 5 as well. It would be the least of my concerns at the moment. You're making mistakes with articles, plurals, punctuation. You don't want to work on too many things at the same time. So overall, that's band 4.5 for that essay. So my advice for you, for task achievement and coherence and cohesion, complete those lessons that I've shown you, that I've shared at the start of this live stream. That will address a lot of that. With vocabulary, just focus on communication. So at the moment, your main focus is trying to improve your vocab score. Don't do that. Focus on communicating clearly to the reader. Will the reader understand what you're saying? Would you understand what you've written? The fact is, you wouldn't. You're using words you don't understand. You're hoping that they mean what you want them to mean. They don't. So that's the first thing. You need to stop taking risks. You need to stop using vocab you can't use. But secondly, you will need to improve your vocabulary as well. So those will be the main things. I think if you wanted to do an extra bit of work, you could work on punctuation, or you might want to leave that till later. But for now, it's going to be complete those lessons and get a better understanding of how to write a task 2 essay. That will help with task achievement and coherence and cohesion. Vocab, stop taking risks, but also improve your vocab. And grammar, I'd say work on punctuation. Work on punctuation for now, and then you can address other issues later on. But that's a lot of work to do already. I'm sure this feedback has been quite painful for you. It's very, very critical. Very, very critical of your writing. But I'm not going to help you improve your scores by saying, "Oh, it's great. You're doing wonderful." That's not how I give feedback. That's not how I improve people's IELTS scores. So it is painful, but that's the truth. That's what you need to do. And of course, if you can take that feedback and you can work on the things I've told you to work on, you will of course improve your scores. That's how you improve your scores. But right now, if you walked into the IELTS test with an essay like that, you're not going to get anywhere near a score that's worth having. So a lot of work to do, Jayati, but I hope you can take it in the way that it's intended to help you improve your scores. Okay, let me jump back in here and see, do I have any more comments? Sharon Preet, you got it? Good. Dalitso, how do you begin writing essay which states, I quote, to what extent do you agree or disagree? So you'll always paraphrase the question, and then with this, you'll either say, I completely agree or I completely disagree. The word extent means you have to say how much. So the word completely or entirely or fully is important. However, Dalitso, you'll also want to complete those lessons that I was referring to. So these ones here, just that question. And I'm not saying don't ask questions. You're more than welcome to ask whatever questions you have. But it does indicate that you have not seen those lessons yet, because all of that will become very clear. Okay, Jayati, you're here. Good, 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 good. Defective means negative influences. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't. That's the problem. Maybe choice of words or not. Definitely, yeah. So a lot of problems with vocab choice. But like I've said, there are ways to overcome that. Can you confirm, am I right, you're using a lot of vocab that you think will push up your score? Now that you're here, I can ask you directly. Is that your attempt? So you're saying you could probably communicate very clearly to me, but you've decided that you're going to try and push up your vocab score instead. And that's where a lot of the harm is coming, because I've seen it happen a lot. I'm quite sure that that's the situation for you. But if you could confirm if I'm right or wrong, I can adapt my advice for you. Thanks, Loretto. You're very welcome. Good. I'm glad that you're taking it on board. I know some people don't take very kindly to that extent of negative feedback. So that's good. Hi, Maravik. Good to see you here. Good. Good. Excellent, Jyoti. That's great. Madeline, you're very welcome. Okay. So let me just quickly share some stuff with you all here. I have a live feedback lesson later today based on academic task 1. So my live feedback lessons are my group classes on Zoom for my subscribers. So if you haven't already subscribed, click on that link and you'll be able to join me later today for task 1 lesson, and also on Friday for task 2. Also, if you would like me to look at your essay in full, like I've just done for Jayati, and give you all the feedback, all the scores, all the advice you need, I am offering a one-on-one service for that as well. So you can avail of that if you don't understand why your scores are lower than the score that you need. So if you don't understand what you're doing wrong, you can get involved in that as well. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. How do you improve your punctuation? Struggling with this one. So I have a grammar guide there, but it just depends on the mistakes you're making. Like right here, it's quite simple. It's not complicated. There's a full stop and a comma. You don't put a space on the left, but you do on the right. So if you look here, you said, thanks very much, sir, space, comma, space. You didn't need the first space. And then again in the second one, you said, secondly, how to improve your your punctuations, and then you have space, full stop, no space. So again, on the left, there's no space. On the right, there is a space. So it might be when you're writing, you don't notice you're making the mistake, and then you would go back and you would just check all of those full stops and commas when you're proofreading your answer. And with time, it'll just become natural and you'll do it correctly. But in the beginning, just be aware, no space on the left, but there is a space on the right. Just go back and fix them all before you finish your answer. That would obviously be easier if you're doing the computer-based test. With the paper-based test, you'll have to do a lot of crossing out and replacing. Okay, so doesn't seem like anybody else has any questions. If you do, I'm happy to answer them. If not, we'll finish it up for there. Just a reminder, I'm not going to be doing live lessons next week or the week after. I'm taking 2 weeks off for Christmas. So just be aware of that. However, I still have live feedback lessons, like I just said, today and Friday, and the live stream for task 2 tomorrow. So I'll surely see you in one of those. And yeah, if you have any questions, always just type them in the comments under the video. I'll get back to you at some point during the day. Okay, so see you later today in the live feedback lesson, or if not, see you in the live stream tomorrow. Okay, take care of yourselves, everyone. Bye-bye.